So for community members, what we're able to offer, after deciding to move forward with Archie is a 10% discount for our services. And so once again, we want to be able to make your life easier, but also make this budget friendly. And so we want to be able to give you great service at a great price point as well. So we're excited to be able to offer that discount to the community members.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental Office Managers Community Podcast, where we talk about the issues that matter most and help us to become better leaders in our dental practice. I'm your host, Kyle Summerford. Let's dive right in. Hey guys, it's Kyle, the founder of Dental Office Managers Community. Welcome back to another webinar video in our group. And today we have Chase from Archy. And Chase, thank you so much for taking the time out today to give us a little bit more information on Archy and just kind of, running through all this cool, awesome features that you guys have.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Kyle. Really excited to be able to. I've been a member of the community in passing and for a long time. So excited to be able to join you and talk about Archy.
Yeah. When I met you guys at the meeting, I took a demo of Archy myself. Because my intentions were to ditch Dentrix. We've had Dentrix for so long, and it's gotten to the point where it's issue after issue, and it gets a little tedious sometimes where you have multiple programs that you're using for different say like texting, communications with patients. And when I stumbled upon Archy and I met you guys at the meeting, you guys gave me a demo and it kind of was just like really blew my mind away on some of the features you guys have. Honestly, I didn't really know too much about all-in-one softwares and like cloud-based for server. And so maybe we can kind of talk about that here to the community just to kind of like, touch on things. But yeah, when I did the demo, it really blew me away. So maybe just give us a little bit background on Archy and what it has to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Archie, our founder and CEO, he was actually the spouse of a practicing dentist. And so he sat in office manager role and they were using an outdated server-based system when it came to the practice management. And so as John worked in the practice, he just realized all the inefficiency and all the additional add-ons that it takes to run an office at a high level. And so as he surveyed the market and realized there wasn't really a true all-in-one system to be able to provide his practice, having worked at Uber and Facebook and having really high tech pedigree in his in his personal career, he was able to find two other co-founders that also worked at Uber and be able to build a really all-in-one system. And so really coming to address that problem that you talked about with Dentrix, it just seems like offices continuing to see problems and really Dentrix and other practice management systems, they're not designed and built by tech companies. They're typically built and designed by, supply and equipment companies. And the reason that we haven't seen much innovation on that space is because technology is such a small underlying fraction of their overall revenue. And so Archie, and we've been able to see so much innovation on the communication aspects. We've seen a lot of companies pop up, but no one's been willing to take on the 800-pound gorilla in the space. And so Archie, we're true disruptors and being able to consolidate all these services in one easy-to-use platform.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Again, like I said, when I did the demo, I really started to learn more about the different types of like practice management softwares that are out there. Um, for many years, I've used the server-based, and I feel like over time, it just doesn't really keep up with like the technology. Kind of like what you just said, where it's, maybe it's related to, say, it's a supply company that's building a tech product, and maybe they just don't have the ability to create something that is keeping up with the current time. So, I think what you guys are doing is awesome, and I'm so happy that I actually had the practice switch over. As you know, we are currently in the process of onboarding, and the experience has been super easy so far. And I'm looking forward to really getting my hands on Archy. Like I'm so excited to get started with it. But yeah, so let's kind of like run through maybe some of the key features that Archy offers and how it can make our lives easier as office managers.
Right. It really is an all-encompassing product, but I think what our users love most about it is the user friendliness. Not having to jump in between multiple softwares, having your practice management, having your communication system in a different place, having intake forms and another online scheduling tools for another platform, and the list just continues to go on and on. And so what our offices really and why practices all over the country continue to choose Archie is that it's a seamless experience. So from the time that the patient calls in, inputting them into a new patient, Archie will be able to automatically recognize if it's a new patient or existing patient, and then from there send according forms that might be specific to their upcoming treatment. For example, a crown prep, we can automate forms to go out so that you working in the front desk and in the front office don't have to worry about, hey, did this patient get this form? It's going to all be automated for you. And then also post-op care, but being able to bill in a simpler manner, and also be able to send out insurance claims and process EOBs with less amount of clicks. So we actually did a side-by-side comparison of one of these legacy softwares, and just in processing an EOB, we were able to reduce on 80% of the amount of clicks. And so really taking a lot of user friendliness and being able so that you can train staff easier, that you can be able to do your job quicker. And then ultimately, you talked about that cloud aspect, being able to access this from home when you're not physically in the practice without having to worry about a remote login. And so giving you more accessibility and ease of use in a lot of different categories.
Yeah, so that's kind of what makes it a all-in-one software.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because that term was fairly new to me. Um, in a way, like I've heard of all-in-one software solutions, but I've always felt like looking at them, they're not really all-in-one because, it's like, hey, I may have a all-in-one software, but I still have this software that is outside of the software, and I still have to utilize that software. Now, with Dentrix, it was like every software was outside of the software. I mean, it sounds confusing, and honestly, I really feel like it has been until, the new technology that's available and where you guys are offering all of this into one platform. So like you said, it's going to save us time, ultimately going to save the practice money. And I'm interested in learning more about the insurance verification that you guys offer.
Yeah, so we're really excited on that front to be able to streamline that process for so many offices. For way too long, practices had to call in and manually verify insurance or log into insurance portals and be able to take the coverage tables and the benefits and being able to put them into their practice management system all manually. And so with Archie, we've been able to partner with insurance verification companies and from there being able to do automatic electronic verification. I do want to preface with all of these, it really depends on the insurance company's participation with electronic verification methods. But nonetheless, we've been able to save offices hundreds of hours every single month without having to call or log into insurance portals and then being able to have those benefits right back automatically into Archie. And so really saving time and energy for staff and once again giving you more accurate insurance information so that you can bill patients and insurance with confidence.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, insurance verification is it's such a not I don't want to say hassle, but it just takes so much time out of the practice, you know. In our office, we have one girl who, I mean, she has multiple job responsibilities, but so much time is spent on insurance verification. And so when I found out you guys had that, I was like, oh man, this is something that we definitely need to bring back to the practice. It's always how can we save time? How can we save money? But how can we be the most efficient in the shortest amount of time? And I really feel like you guys are kind of hitting those notes. And that's why, again, we started the onboarding process with you guys to really kind of pull ourselves away from this ancient technology, so to
Right.
speak. So one of the features that I went over during the demo with you guys was the payroll process and payroll integration. Um, and that's kind of what really sold the staff in the office on adopting this new practice management software. Because, the way we were doing things was we were using time clocks and we were relying on staff to really come in and make sure that they punch in. And throughout the years, we've had some issues where a staff member forgets to punch in or something like that. Or maybe the time clock just stops working, or maybe there's a miscommunication from me delivering the information to the payroll company. So tell us a little bit more about the payroll process in Archie that's built into the platform.
Yeah, when John and our founders sought to build Archie, they didn't want it just to be a patient management system. They wanted to be a practice management system. And so including that is being able to deliver a great experience for not only the users, but or excuse me, not only the patients, but the users and also the practice admins. And so we've been able to embed Gusto, which is a very commonly used HR payroll software, and embed that directly within our platform. The beautiful thing about it is it's all managed directly within Archie, and we support it as well. So if you run into any issues, you can be able to reach out to us directly. But from there, staff members are able to clock in and out. You can be able to review the timesheets and make any edits as needed. Let's say that I do forget to clock in one morning. You can be able to send in an edit request from that individual user, and then the admins can be able to review that and approve that or deny that based if it's accurate. And then from there, every 2 weeks, you can be able to go ahead and run the payroll, and it will have direct deposit directly within your staff members' accounts 2 to 3 business days after the payroll is ran. And so, why our staffs love it is being able to have all of that information accessible, like pay stubs, employee documents, and handbooks directly within their Archie login, but being able to continue to maintain that private. We understand that users are jumping in between workstations and things like that, but it's always password protected so that no staff members can review information to another staff member's pay or employee documentation.
That's cool. Yeah, man. So that again, that's like one of the things that really had the staff excited about taking on Archie. And, because as, we're all human and sometimes change is not something that we really like to do. I mean, I'm the first one to admit it. Sometimes being stuck in your ways can be a disservice, right? Because you feel like, hey, look, I'm doing it the right way, but what if there's a faster way to fix things? What if there's something easier that can help take some of these tasks off of our hands? And so that's where I see the payroll integration of Archie really shining because, this is something that I say in many other videos, and dental office managers have a ton of tasks. We have to, daily kind of have this balancing act of like, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that, remember to do this. And you can make checklists and stuff like that, but hey, why not if there's a solution for it that is already built into your practice management software, why not just take advantage of it? So yeah, so thanks, man. Thanks for kind of going over that feature with us. The other thing I wanted to really touch on with you today was the Pearl integration. And so, you know, Pearl is something that's new, right? Artificial intelligence. It's really got me excited because I'm seeing a lot of these new technology and service companies that are out there. And so give us a little bit more information on how Pearl integrates with Archie and how dental office managers can use it in their practice.
Yeah, we are super excited about our partnership with Pearl, and we just think the world of their product. And so, with that, as you all have heard, we're kind of in the wave of this AI revolution. And so, one of the ways that we've seen this really adapt and affect dental practices is through second opinion AI. And so, being able to use machine learning to identify cavities and different calculuses and bone regression directly on X-rays. And so, as our founders evaluated it, they thought Perl was the best option when it came to that, and we embedded it within our platform. And so what's unique is the level of our integration between this and other systems. And so typically, for example, Dentrix, if you were to use Dentrix, you typically have an additional imaging software in Dexis or XDR, whatever type of route you take for that direction. But from there, you typically have to go into another software to be able to read AI. With Archie, all of that is self-contained so that you don't have to open up multiple menus and screens to be able to have AI diagnostics in there. And so being able to partner with them on that level, but we're really excited about the future of AI directly within our product as well. There's a lot of different ways that and directions that we can improve your practice. And so being able to introduce AI within reporting so that you can be able to get more accurate and easier to run reports, and then being able to create actionable items from that and have AI follow up on those. And so there's a lot of ways that we can be able to continue to, the width is there. Now we're continuing to build depth as far as AI and within our product.
That's cool. Yeah, so speaking on Pearl, just to add a little bit of information on how I envision myself using it. I do treatment presentation to patients, and so, I deliver the financials, I deliver, the educational part on insurance. I always like to look at models and brochures and things of that nature to really like educate the patient. I feel that the more education the patient has, the more likely they are to accept the treatment plan. And so, where I really believe very strongly with having the Pearl integration, that I'll be able to kind of stay in one screen, first off. And second, I'll be able to show the x-ray and actually have those little areas of concern highlighted, show the bone levels and things like that, because those all that information correlates back to insurance coverage. So if I can make the connection between educating the patient and saying, hey, look, this is what's on your x-ray, and this is where we are with the insurance, then more than likely that's going to increase the case acceptance rate. So anyway, I thought that's just something that I'm looking forward to being able to do in the practice, and hopefully
Yeah.
get our numbers up and really, push for a higher case acceptance.
Yeah, Kyle, you hit the nail on the head with that. Be able to help the patients understand what's going on in their x-rays and why treatment is necessary for whatever type of readings that the AI and obviously the doctor are picking up within those x-rays. But for so long we've had to rely on just explaining the x-rays, which it's in shades of black and white and gray. And so for a typical patient, somebody in my seat that's never worked in a practice, being able to identify, hey, like, these teeth look the exact same from my untrained dental eye, but being able to have that diagnostic and be able to show the tooth anatomy directly on the x-ray, it becomes very clear. And we've seen offices case acceptance jump through the roof as they've been able to introduce this and be able to give the patients visuals of why they need whatever treatment that you guys are prescribing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. Chase, so when I did the demo at the meeting, I saw that you guys have communications actually built into the software. I thought that was really cool. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we're super excited to have that as part of our offering because typically in a practice, a large amount of the overall tech spend or the software spend is directly for communication, specifically the automated reminders. And so, what's so unique about Archie in the fact that because we are not only your practice management, but we offer texting, we can offer additional functionalities that typical third-party add-ons wouldn't be able to provide because we are able to identify not only that an appointment's coming up, but we're going to be able to read the procedure codes that are associated with that. And so that introduces and gives us the capabilities of, hey, let's say that Kyle is coming in for a crown prep, and there are specific forms that are associated with that. Archie will be able to recognize that you're coming up for that and automatically send the forms that are associated for that, for the consent, and that automatically write back into the practice management system so that you can be able to have those not only within the forms portion, but signed digital copies directly in the document center that you can always reference back to. And so, once again, being able to consolidate services and streamline processes so that you can be able to set it and forget it. Like we've talked about earlier, office managers, I think they are one of a kind and they have to wear so many different hats for a practice. And it's really easy for things to slip through the cracks when you have so many different responsibilities that spread out. And so Archie just kind of wants to be that backstop for you to ensure that every form, every reminder is all automated so that you have less to worry about in your day to day.
So making this a all-in-one solution, again, like touching on that. So I'll bring this to a personal part of my life. When I first heard about streaming services and Netflix and Hulu and all these new services that were out there, right? I decided to cut the cord, they called it, right? They were like, cut the cord, go to streaming, get the internet service and don't worry about it. Get a streaming app and, you'll be fine. I recently and this doesn't have this doesn't have a lot to do with the dental part, but I'm just going to try to make a connection here for our audience because I want them to see the value in cost savings. And really, my point is this: when I cut the cord of the cable service for my home, I signed up for all these Netflix and Hulu and Disney and all these different companies that are out there. And I realized, which took some time, that I actually started spending more money on these streaming services, right? And so, my point of this is that you can have multiple different applications, right? That are maybe doing texting. One is doing emails. One is doing insurance verification. One is doing your prescription submissions, right? And so if you can kind of encompass that all in one, you can also save the office money, right? I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like Archie does.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rather than having a fractured experience and siloed, the comparison I always like to draw is death by a thousand cuts. Every one of these vendors are looking for huge profit margins and being able to benefit off your practice. But by being able to consolidate it all in one, you're going to get a much more cost-effective solution, but also easier to navigate, easier to train. And I mean, just the fact of not having 15 different passwords for all the services that you use, just having one password in itself cause a lot of offices to make the jump to Archie.
Yeah, you said it a lot faster and easier than I did. But it's true, man. It's like, you just spend so much money and then it's hard to convince the doctor, right? It's like, hey, look, let's sign up for this, let's sign up for that, let's sign up for this. Before you know it, you're spending, thousands and thousands of dollars on multiple applications that are kind of like doing different parts of the practice, right? So yeah, it makes sense. Why not get an all-in-one solution like Archie? What is some of the feedback that you guys are receiving from dental office managers who've made the switch from their current practice management software to now over to Archie?
I think we've made their life a whole lot easier in a lot of different categories, but I think the most important thing that we've been able to offer is timely and responsive, as well as knowledgeable support. I feel like so many different dental software companies have really signed practices up and left them out to dry as far as when it comes onto the support front. But we've been able to cultivate a knowledgeable, fast acting support team to be able to ensure that your questions are addressed in a timely manner, but also giving you the feedback that you need so that your questions aren't continuously escalated and then you're left with no answer. And so our support team comes from dental experience. Our director of onboarding, she's actually she was a regional manager for a DSO and oversaw the change from server-based systems to a cloud-based system. And so our team is incredibly knowledgeable about the inner workings of the migration and the data conversion, but also our product. But in that as well, they've been in your position, they've sat in your seat and know what it means to bill insurance, to collect on patients' outstanding balances, as well as check patients in and out, and the difficulties that you face on a daily basis. And so, really being able to relate on that level and then be able to give you the help you need so that it's a positive experience all around.
Yeah, you mentioned support, and I will tell you that over the years, I can probably count on one hand how many times I actually had someone pick up the phone with support. And so it's easy to call them, it's hard to get a solution. And I've spent countless hours just trying to get things fixed in, Dentrix. And, it kind of just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. On top of that, like they were charging the office like, thousands of dollars for support. And it was lacking to say the least. So in terms of support with Archy, what is a typical, say, response time?
Right. And so we have all different channels available for our support team via call, text, email, chat. And so with that, on average, our support team responsiveness was 64 seconds at the last time we evaluated that in 2023. So from there, we've been able to continue to scale our support team at a faster pace than even our sales team to ensure that we have that we're not overextending ourselves when it comes to customer acquisition and then signing offices up with no support on the back end. And so we want to ensure that we grow both of those teams at an equal pace so that offices have great experience on that front and not spent waiting hours on end when it comes to hold and hold times and call volume and things like that.
Yeah, what I really liked about you guys was I had an idea and I reached out to John and I said, "Hey John, do you guys have this feature?" And he said his response was, "We don't have it yet." And to me, that was that was refreshing because, Dentrix has a an online site where you can, put in requests for certain features, and just kind of giving like your input as an office manager because at the end of the day, you're typically the end user. And, there's been countless submissions from office managers in the community. And it's really kind of upsetting when you don't really see many updates being done. And again, my conversation with John was like kind of refreshing where I was just like, wow, okay, so they're actually gonna work on that and get that going at some point, which is great. You just don't have that personal touch, that personal connection. And I feel like you guys really kind of have that and you guys are nailing that. In terms of updates, how frequent are updates with Archie?
Almost on a daily basis, we're going to continue to make improvements to our product and anything that arises, we're going to be able to address quickly. But we are really excited about the future of the product and our pace as an organization. We talked about the Pearl integration in the past, and we were able to, from the time that we decided that we were going to integrate Pearl from that being requested to when it was actually launched, it only took us about 6 weeks to be able to build that capability. In tech standards, that's probably moving at 10x pace of anyone else in the industry. And so I would, without a doubt, I would say we have the most skilled and knowledgeable engineers within the industry to be able to give practices what they need, but also that feedback loop. We are at a stage of a company where our customer feedback is continuing so important. And so, Kyle, as a user yourself, you're going to be able to see your fingerprints within the product as it continues to develop and grow and have those feature requests be able to turn into products released within Archie. And so this is not a typical vendor customer relationship where it's like that's your product and if you're not happy with it, sorry about it. With this, it's continuing to develop and our customer feedback is so essential to us so that we can ensure that we can make your life daily, or excuse me, your user experience better day in and day out.
Yeah, so I love it. I love it all. And that's why I signed up for Archie. One last question I do have for you. Chase, what our members in the community would love to know is what is the special deal that you guys are going to be able to work out?
Yeah, so for community members, what we're able to offer, after deciding to move forward with Archie is a 10% discount for our services. And so once again, we want to be able to make your life easier, but also make this budget friendly so that you can be able to have a better experience in your day-to-day. This is the software that you're probably going to use more than any software within your personal or professional life. And so we want to be able to give you great service at a great price point as well. So we're excited to be able to offer that discount to the community members.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And, community members, if you guys want more information on Archy, I'm going to take a link and put it down in the comments. You guys can take a look at it yourself. I strongly believe that Archy is revolutionizing the productivity that we have in the dental practice. And so, Chase, thank you so much for coming on today. Just really wanted to thank you for your time and really giving us more information on Archy and how it helps dental managers and their practices. So, we thank you for coming on here and sharing that special offer with us.
Absolutely, Kyle. We really appreciate everything that you do for the dental community, and we're excited to be able to partner on this level.
Awesome. We'll talk soon, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.